Hi there, my name is Ray Castley, my real name is Maxim, and I make quirky horror games. I made this game called Clap Clap. I maybe have heard of it or seen it somewhere, or maybe played it, and it got around 760,000 downloads across itch and Steam. And I just wanted to create a short video sort of sharing my experience and my thoughts on why I believe the game did so well. Maybe this will help out some other developers, maybe not, I don't know. And yeah, I just want to preface this with, none of this is sort of guaranteed. Like, I don't know anything, you don't know anything, nobody knows anything. We're all just guessing what makes a game go viral. Nobody knows. You just guess. Some people have better models than other people, and that's it, really. So, yeah, just want to put that out there. I don't know anything. I'm just trying my best, I also just want to sort of put out the credibility slide of why you might consider listening to what I have to say. But again, none of this guarantees anything. My next game could easily flop, like get 5 downloads and nobody really cares. So, do with this information what you want, 33 million views on YouTube, that's an estimate. There's a lot more. 65k viewers on Twitch at its peak. 570,000 licenses on Steam. 167,000 downloads on itch. Those numbers are a bit older, about a few months ago, I think, a few months ago. 95% positive reviews on Steam, which is, I think, pretty impressive. And top 1% of free-to-play games in 2024, source Chris Zukowski. Now, this is also kind of, I was preparing the slide for something else, but anyways, Chris Zukowski made this video where he talked about, I believe it was a statistic where he said 3% of games released in 2024 reached 1,000 reviews or something, or more than 1,000 reviews. And my game at the time had more than 2,500, I believe. So that's why I kind of estimated that it's probably up there in the top 1% or something. And my current project is nearing 20,000 wishlists, and it's among the 3,000 most wishlisted games on Steam, and that's all without a demo. So there are some playtests going on. Well, there were, but I'm working on the demo now. And so we will see how it goes once the demo is released. That will be sort of a telling point. I don't know how to call it, which will, show us how the game will potentially perform when it's released. So yeah, what we will cover, I'm going to be pretty brief, as brief as I can in this video. I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't want to bore people, because I really don't know if anyone's going to be interested in what I have to say, honestly. And so I'm just going to cover a few things that I think were crucial, and I'm expecting you guys to sort of leave comments telling me what you want to learn more about or what you'd like me to cover. I can go into the workflow stuff, because there's a lot of stuff in terms of strategy and like execution and tons of stuff. And also my background in game dev is not as simple as people think. Okay, so yeah, let's start one by one. Name and mechanic. Obviously, I believe this played a humongous role in the success of the game. Okay. The reason is probably mostly the name. Okay, I believe the name played a big part in getting YouTubers and streamers to be interested to try it out. Because as a YouTuber and a streamer, You're like an entertainer. That's how I see it. And you want to make entertaining videos, so you're looking for games that you believe have the highest likelihood of being entertaining, or that allow you to showcase your creativity, your sense of humor, that kind of stuff. And I believe that, as you can see just from the thumbnails and titles, mostly from the titles, you can sort of already see them being creative in different ways. Like clapping has never been so scary. So it starts to get you wondering, is like clapping, like clapping cheeks, clapping hands, what are we clapping here, I literally I literally played a horror game about clapping and I liked it. Like that's an amazing title. Like it's just so quirky, it's, I don't know. Getting clapped to death is crazy. Okay, this demon want to clap his cheeks. I just think, like, when you see this title and thumbnail, you want to click. Now, it's a separate question of, like, people who watch these games, how many of them convert to actually playing the game, and I'll get to that part as well, of why I think people were potentially maybe choosing to play this game even after watching tons of these streamers play it. But yeah, the name is very crucial. The mechanic itself, obviously super unique. I've never seen it before used anywhere in gaming. And it does blend in well with the horror aspect of the game. So yeah, I do believe, like, those two things played a crucial role. Now, second of all, I noticed, or this is, again, these are my thoughts. Like, none of this is, nobody knows what makes a game go viral. It's all just guesswork. It's just, people creating these models based on their experiences and stuff like that, to help them guess, sort of a bit better than other people. So nobody really knows. It's just a bunch of guesswork. But I do believe that having these sort of, I don't know if I want to call it lore, or it's like these open questions that you can sort of ponder about. Like, why is there a huge billboard in this neighborhood that's advertising this clap box? Is that even legal? How are they what company is behind this? Stuff like that. Like, what is in that box even? Did the monster come out of the box? Did the box attract the monster? Like all kinds of like questions that you don't really get an answer to it. And I did that intentionally. I didn't want to give concrete answers. This one here with the door, you kind of got the answer to that, sort of. But it's still, there's always like these questions that you implant or try to implant in the player. And I believe that it's always more fun for them to come up with their own theories than for you to come up with your own theory that's probably lame, So, yeah. So I believe that played a big role as well, because people could speculate on it in the comments and stuff like that. Next up is sort of this difference between an experience and a game. Like I like to think that I'm making experiences and not games. I always try to focus on what kind of experience do I want the player to have, like what kind of emotions do I want to evoke and stuff like that. And then I go backwards from there. So with this game, I knew that I didn't want to make a super serious game. I knew that it's going to be like a blend of horror and also like those Looney Tune vibes. And this is like heavily inspired by Lethal Company. That's a humongous influence on my work. I was super inspired by that game, and all of Zeeker's games are just amazing. And I love that blend of horror and comedy. I just love it. So I knew that's kind of the goal that I was going for. And then it was just the question of you know, what kind of moments can I try to craft that will hopefully evoke those emotions in players. And so there are like some really original spooky moments crafted around the clapping mechanic, obviously. Like when you enter the room and you hear him clap, you turn around and the lights are off in that room. That's kind of a spooky moment. Some people got it, some people didn't actually hear him clap. So yeah, it's hard to make a game sort of universally work for everyone. But anyways, funny moments. Lots of people loved these. I wouldn't call them Easter eggs. It's mostly like some thought pops into your head. Like there's a moment in the game where a guy jump scares you. Okay, he's like an inspector. He jump scares you and then he leaves. And I noticed like some people might want to throw a trash bag at him as a joke. And so I decided to add that in as a feature, that if you hit him with the trash bag, he dies on the spot. And if you approach him, you bag his corpse, essentially. It's a pretty fast escalation there, but it's a game. It's a quirky game, and it was hilarious for most people. It just came out of the left field, essentially. And so I will get back to that point later on as well. But I truly believe that those moments really played a major role as well in the success of the game. And there's also some other Easter eggs. I mean, that Easter egg was kind of on the simpler end, and was kind of focused on humor. But there's another Easter egg, like if you fall off the map, most people would just get pissed, and I could see it when I watched these streamers play. They was like, oh man, I fell off the map, this game is so stupid. But then you see it's like loading a different map, and then you load up into this zone which is like inspired from Naruto. Like in his mind when he goes to the nine-tailed fox's peak, blah blah blah. Because I'm a huge geek when it comes to anime, I just wanted to sort of recreate that in a bit of a more spooky way, and so I did something similar. It's just like an Easter egg, but it did take quite a solid amount of effort to pull that off. And it's there, and I believe the players sort of appreciate that, because obviously a very small percentage of players is going to reach that point. But those that do, they really do appreciate it, I believe. That added touch, you know. So yeah, that's in terms of experience versus game. I always try to focus on like the experience part of it, what kind of emotions I want to evoke and stuff like that. I can make whole videos on each of these topics, but yeah. Bug fixing and anticipation. So this is also crucial. When I released this game, I had 100 wish lists. 100 wish lists on release day after like 3 months of trying to promote the game. And I released it in 3 a.m., went to bed, and I couldn't sleep, and I just checked like YouTube or something, and then there was a guy streaming it, I think from Canada or something, I don't know. And he immediately encountered some bugs, and I was like, oh my god, people are, well, it wasn't huge streamers. It was very small YouTubers and streamers, but I immediately found them playing the game in real time, and I just got up and I started fixing the bugs immediately. Like, I cannot explain to you how buggy the game was initially. It's still buggy, but it was really bad at the start, and like, you know, it was just week, maybe 1 week or so, where I hardly slept. I was just trying to fix bugs. I was constantly anxious that some big shot YouTuber or streamer is going to play it and encounter some massive bugs. The first few reviews that I got after releasing the game were all negative, but as soon as I started pushing the updates and fixing bugs, it immediately started getting positive reviews, and then it kind of sort of stayed in that range. But if I didn't act quickly like I did, it would probably flop like immediately, I believe. At least, I don't know. Second point is anticipation. What I mean by this, it's kind of weird title, but what I wanted to say here is, while I was watching YouTubers play this, my friends and family and stuff like that play the game, I would see that an idea would pop into their minds, okay? Where they might grab the trash bag and throw it at the person, and nothing would happen because I didn't think of that anyone would do that, right? But once I saw enough people do the same thing, I decided to simply add something that would happen if that happens, if someone tries to do that the next time, right? And so I believe that because I was constantly adding or tweaking or changing stuff as the people were playing the game, this was risky, by the way, because it could produce even more bugs, but it made it look like the game potentially had something more to offer than what they saw the YouTubers play. Because imagine you're watching one YouTuber play the game, he experiences it in one way, and then you watch another one. It's mostly the same, but there are a few things that they uncover. Maybe they uncover some Easter egg, or maybe they kill the agent, or they do this, or they do that, or whatever. And so I believe that also potentially, drove people to maybe try out the game for themselves. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that, and there's obviously more to this, like the music, the ambience, the attention to detail on the level itself, is also things that people sort of praise the game on. But yeah, that's mostly it. I really don't want to go into too much detail because, again, I feel like this video is going to get 2 views. And I don't even know if this is even useful to anyone out there, you know? So if it is, just let me know.